Hey everyone, I just want to make this quick video. Just a heads up, I think I am going to do this alternating long form and short form videos, because I think there's just too much information to fit into one. But in this video today, it actually comes out of Hawaii, somewhere that I am very familiar with. It doesn't relate to Canada directly, but it shows that even Hawaii is even starting to prepare for ICE to arrive. Now I know ICE and CBP are already in Hawaii doing their thing, but when I say arrive, I mean arrive like how they are in Minnesota and Maine. But my message is to Canadians and even international travelers that are still going to Hawaii or other states that you might think are safe. They may not be as safe as you think anymore. When the state officials are making preparations and changing laws to make things tougher on ICE, I would take that as a serious warning. So this report out of Hawaii is going to show that. Let's get started.
And with DHS in the hot seat, it's now spurring Hawaii lawmakers into action to try and set ground rules for ICE. One of the big legal questions is, what can states do to set rules for federal law enforcement officers conducting operations in a state like Hawaii? Well, our Kristen Concilio has that story tonight.
With violent protests erupting across the country, some Hawaii lawmakers are trying to fast-track new laws to protect immigrants in hopes of preventing the same hostility here in the Aloha State.
Now we know the Mango McNugget is targeting those cities that are blue: Portland, Minneapolis, and even the state of Maine. He tried in LA and he also tried in Chicago, but there was enough pushback. But it doesn't mean that he won't try again. But what I'm trying to say is that these are destinations that Canadians probably go to. And I don't want anything to happen to Canadians that do go. Ultimately, they're responsible if anything happens. But when it comes to Hawaii, they're making preparations right now. So for me, that's enough warning signs right there to stay away.
I think it's an emotional time right now. This is something that I've never seen in my lifetime, and it's really scary to see, combat weapons and uniforms and tactics.
Bills would ban officers from wearing masks unless undercover and prevent enforcement operations in sensitive places.
Making sure that we don't have, police operations in hospitals, at churches, in places where folks come for refuge. We don't need ICE operations in emergency rooms or intensive care units.
Now, if we're going by the law, getting a bill to protect immigrants is definitely the right way to go. But do you think ICE is really going to follow them? There's a video circulating right now of ICE trying to break into the Ecuadorian consulate, which is foreign soil. If you haven't seen it yet, let me show it to you very quickly.
I will grab you. If you test me, I will grab you. Okay, you can let them. Okay, but don't touch me. Yeah, okay. You can let them. All right, so go. You can let them through. This is a consulate. This is the foreign government consulate. You can let them through. All right, close the door. All right, yeah, over there. All right, yeah.
Sí, lo estoy filmando.
No, pero ya tenía que poner. ¿Qué viste? Quisieron perseguir a las personas acá. Salí por fuera del República. Me tocó hablar con mi.
There are no lines when it comes to ICE. I mean, this is a consulate, which they have zero jurisdiction over, and they still tried to get in. Which does worry me when it comes to the Olympics now that ICE is going to be there in Italy. I'm really interested to see how that goes. But back to this bill. Yes, it is a good move to have this in the law so ICE doesn't go to the hospitals and churches. But my question is, do you think ICE really cares?
Other bills are aimed at asserting state authority over our state and county police.
Not allowing them to be co-opted to do raids of immigrant communities, like we've seen in Kona coffee farms, like that incident on Maui where, they went in and broke into a house SWAT team style and arrested teachers.
That's the first time I'm hearing about that in Hawaii. But then again, it kind of shows you how much is not being reported by the news. But at the same time, people are still vacationing there like nothing's happening.
And there appears to be wide support to move fast on bills to protect against what immigrant advocates are calling fear tactics.
That just sows terror and chaos in our communities. Fighting back isn't optional right now. I think what a lot of people are confused about is they think that there's an option to just lay low, that if we just keep our head down and play nice, that somehow this is all going to work out. It's not. History has shown us that that doesn't work.
Legislators and advocates say all law enforcement, even federal agents, must comply with state laws. And that's why they're trying to strengthen the rules to prevent more chaos.
Mandy is right. Too many people think they can just lay low, put their head down, and act like nothing is happening, basically keeping their head in the sand. But the state of Hawaii is not the only one making these preparations. The state of Washington, the one I used to go to all the time, is also making its own preparations just in case ICE does come over. They know they are targets of the Orange McNugget. I mean, you don't see this happening in Florida or Kentucky or any deep red state. In fact, many of the Orange McNugget supporters are actually supporting ICE. You can take a look at this one here. This article was sent to me by one of our viewers on the Discord server, which is basically saying that citizens in the state of Maine are now creating a pro-ICE militia to basically fend off the protesters. So long story short, if you're planning to go to Maine, first you gotta worry about CBP getting into the state. Then you gotta worry about ICE. Now you gotta worry about this pro-ICE militia. I better not hear Governor Mills trying to get us to go back to the US. But my overall point is that things are changing. And when you have the blue states starting to make changes in their bills to prevent ICE from doing certain things, they are preparing for their arrival. So for any Canadians or international tourists that are still thinking of going, thinking that maybe Hawaii is far enough and nothing affects them, or that they'll be safe in a blue state, or it's not going to happen around the area that they're in, you better think again, because things are changing by the day. Alright, that's all I got for today's video. If you found any value in anything I said, or you want to hear more input from a Canadian point of view, help my channel out by hitting the like and subscribe button below. Thanks everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.